It's your boy Jimmy. Jimmy.
Now what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't make up.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning I wanna turn on this Becky quick. While the average man looking at this sad like she fine as it. I'm over here looking at tails and whips like 5'6". I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stop pick. I know that booty got dry, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-wops crossing. Rich with hot V's from pushing hot strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater, Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounces. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottom. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thought, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, big profits. Light up watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL, make profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. Yeah. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call a short squeeze. You get the drop, pull the trigger, and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and stop. Now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL. Hey, my family. Profits. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Suge, Mike, what we doing? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Hey, make profits.
That TTG money gang, we some snipers.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? What's going on, folks? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. We're here live for earnings. We got a bunch of earnings that are coming out across the wire right now, waiting for the biggest one of them all, and that is Apple, set to come out here in a few moments. My name is Michael Edward Parinati. I go by Michael Edward. I began my trading career over 17 years ago, working at T3 Alpha Fund, my first job right out of college, where I had to go through an educational trading program before they let me touch even $1 of their money. Then 2008 happened, and that was the Great Recession, and the stock market crashed, but also the same year that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now you fast forward, I'm the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group. Along with my team of 9 professional trading mods and an over 30-person staff, we've helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals. We actually have members in 115 different countries. We are truly a global community at True Trading Group. And for those of you that may not be familiar with us, we are the fastest growing and highest rated premium online educational platform that combines university and professional level trading and investing courses with premium stock market tools, live workshops, individual mentorship and coaching for stocks, options, crypto, and futures. We cover all styles of trading. We day trade, we swing trade. We also do long-term investing. There's something for everybody here at True Trading Group. We take that university level of curriculum and we combine it with today's top financial tools. Tools that give you more information, that help you make better decisions and analysis to help you become better traders. The problem is most retail traders don't use these tools because they're very expensive. $5,000 to $6,000 a year for you to pay for them on your own. That's why we have spent years building relationships with these companies so we can put their tools on our platform at no additional cost to you. So saves you around $5,000-$6,000 a year. These are things like Benzinga Pro's real-time news feed, congressional trading data, insider trading, a simulator let you trade stocks, options, crypto, futures, TradingView's premium charting software, the trade idea scanner, unusual options activity, options flow, short data, analyst ratings, trading, it's all included. Yes, you get our courses. Yes, you get our trade alerts, but you also get all of these tools. We set you up with everything that you need to have the very best chance of becoming successful for one affordable price for the entire year, all under one roof. You also get access to our members, the most educated, helpful, supportive, and successful community of traders that you're ever going to find. Not to mention all of the real-time trade alerts from the moderators and myself that collectively as a group have been able to maintain a cumulative win rate on all of our executions of just around 80%, now going on roughly the last 4 years. And of course, those of you that are busy and have full-time jobs, all of our resources, all of our trade alerts, all of our tools are accessible from our mobile apps that are designed to help you stay connected no matter how busy you are or what you're doing. As long as you have a cell phone, a tablet, or if you can listen to music during the day, then you can follow along with all the analysis taking place in True Trading Group. So if you are ready to learn, trade, and profit for real, you guys have come to the right place. 6 nights a week, Sunday through Friday, we go live right here for free, where myself, other TeachD Pro trading mods, and special guests drop golden nuggets and give you free lessons, education, trade ideas, and commentary that can help you guys all become better traders. Let's get into earnings. If you guys have not yet done so, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. Make sure you never miss out on any of these live streams. Fortinet. Where far out thou? Fortinet. Down 20% on earnings as they missed on revenue. Earnings per share was a beat at 41 cents versus 36 cents estimate. They missed on revenue. Sales, 1.33 billion. The expectation was 1.35 billion. But here's the kicker. Their guidance is super weak. Q4 guidance, 1.38 to 1.44 billion. Analyst expectations, 1.5 billion. And light on fiscal year revenue, 5.4 billion. The expectations coming in at 5.2 to 5.3. So light on guidance and a miss on sales. And that results in a 19% drop on Fortinet. This is an unbelievable fall from grace for Fortinet. Now, to be completely honest with you, I actually think this is a pretty decent area for the long-term portfolio. I am actually sitting here today looking at this, thinking to myself, maybe I want to nibble on some Fortinet down there in the 40s. Now, this is a stock that ran all the way to 80 bucks and has had now back-to-back 2 very disappointing earnings announcements. You can see the first big gap down on the first earnings announcement, and then there's now your second gap down on the second earnings announcement. But we're coming up to what is a big level of support that you guys can see here, which is the lows from last year. All right, so you are coming up on lows from last year, and you can see we just dropped into that level, and we are trying to hold this area. So I'm not going to step in. I'm not going to buy it right this moment. Usually when you get a big earnings drop like this, maybe you get like 2 to 3 days of downside. But I will tell you, I am considering maybe adding some of this in the long-term portfolio over the next couple of days. I want to just make sure that this area down here in the low 40s, I want to make sure that area holds. But another disappointing earnings announcement there for Fortinet. The stock just a couple months ago made all-time highs and is now down about 40% off of that all-time high after just making the all-time high just a couple of months ago. So I will be watching that one to possibly add in the portfolio. Block is out and we are flying. Block just came out, guys, with earnings as well. They beat on earnings per share, 55 cents versus 47 cents, and they beat on total revenue. Look at you, Block. 5.62 billion versus 5.4 billion expected, and that stock's trading up 21%. Wow, look at this thing go. 21%. I got to tell you, the candles that I am seeing today, the moves that these stocks are making, the move that the overall market's made is absolutely incredible. Now, we talked about on the live stream over the last couple of days, right? We talked about this, that after experiencing a red August, a red September, and a red October, you have not had a red November. I believe it's only happened one time in history, and that's all the way back in, like, I think it was 1946. Don't quote me on the year. I should have checked that before because I said that yesterday, but I'm not sure. I believe it's 1946, the last time that that's happened. History tells us November and December are very strong times of the year for the stock market. And history tells us that when you're red in August, September, October, that the likelihood of a green November is very, very high. Okay? Very, very high. And it certainly seems like we are on our way to locking in a green November. I mean, you just take a look at what we've done over the last 2 days. We've exploded over the last 2 days. These are the first 2 trading days of the month, and we're already ripping to the upside. This is a very strong day in the markets today as we have gotten back above the 200-day moving average. The S&P has gotten back above the 4,200 support level. This is a very, very important day today because we have reclaimed critical support levels that broke briefly last week. Those levels have been reclaimed. You look for them to now reestablish themselves as support. And I still believe that the move higher into the end of the year, I still think it's intact. We had the kind of confirming that today. And now on pullbacks into that 200-day moving average on the SPY, those mid 420s, I think you look for buys to get some nice trades going into the end of the year. Block says, Cash App generated $3.58 billion in revenue and $984 million of gross profit. That's up 34%. And then 27% on gross profit year over year. Great job on that one for Block. Man, we are getting a ton of earnings coming up. What a day for earnings, man. Carvana just came out with earnings. A little bit of a muted reaction. A miss on revenues. $2.77 billion versus $2.78 billion on the expectations there for Carvana. Carvana has been getting gutted. I'm not crazy about this stock. I'm not crazy about this company. I do not own it in the long-term portfolio. I have no intentions on owning it in the long-term portfolio, but the stock has basically gone straight down for a month and a half. A little bit of a dead cat bounce here today. Now they get the earnings out. It's a miss. Does this move higher hold? I don't think so. I actually think that if Carvana gets back up to 35, I actually think it's a good short. You have the 150-day moving averages coming into play here. Watch for that moving average to cross over. I would look for there to be resistance on Carvana somewhere up here into the mid-30s to eventually work its way back down to 25 and sit back against that 200-day moving average. So I actually do believe that Carvana is a short. I'm not looking to add that one in the long-term portfolio at all. Let's see some other important ones that we've got coming out. Coinbase, baby. What do you got for us? What do you got for us, Coinbase? 674 million global revenue versus 653 million estimates. So that is a beat on Coinbase for revenue. Coinbase global revenue, 674 million versus 653. Stock not really doing all that much. Big resistance up here. Big resistance up here in the 80s. I mean, listen, Bitcoin's been hot, right? Bitcoin's been hot. Bitcoin back up to that 35K level, cracking against 35K, and you've got MicroStrategy just ripping on the heels of that. You also had earnings on MicroStrategy, but I'm looking for MicroStrategy to actually continue this climb. And if Bitcoin can really clear out 35K, and to really clear out 35K, I think you got to really get into like 36. But then I think you have a nice shot to like at least 38, and possibly even 40K. And if you get a move to like 40K on Bitcoin, MicroStrategy should go back to above 500. And I think that there's a trade there. Just watch Bitcoin and you can trade MicroStrategy off of Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, they own so much Bitcoin on their balance sheet that it's basically trades like a Bitcoin ETF. As Bitcoin goes up, MicroStrategy goes up. And as Bitcoin goes down, MicroStrategy goes down because the value of the company as far as their assets on their balance sheet fluctuates with the price of Bitcoin so much because they own so much Bitcoin. And so much of their money is in Bitcoin. So that's something that you guys can look to trade on the back or on the heels of Bitcoin. What else we've got? Expedia. Expedia is out, moving to the upside. Remember, everyone's talking about the consumer slowing down their travel. And that's what the airlines told us. That's not what Expedia is saying. Expedia earnings per share, 541 versus 493. Check out this earnings beat. Revenue, 3.93 billion. Analyst expectations, 3.86. Nice solid beat there. They also announced, ready, get this, a $5 billion share buyback. A $5 billion share buyback. So Expedia actually moving to the upside. They actually looked at Q3 booked room nights are up 9% year over year. So you're actually seeing hotel rooms, 9% increase in bookings year over year. They expect revenue growth of 22 to 25% in Q4. And their fiscal year 2023 revenue raising its expected revenue growth to a range of 26 to 27%. So Expedia is telling you that they're not expecting any type of a slowdown. They're not expecting the consumer to scale back. They're not expecting to see less vacations and less hotel stays. Expedia is not. But then you take a look at Booking. Now, Booking.com, I got to check the rest of these numbers, but these earnings aren't that bad. They beat on earnings per share and they beat on revenue. Earnings per share, $72.32 versus $67.61. That's nice. And revenue of $7.3 billion. Analyst expectations were $7.26. But that stock's down almost 2%, while Expedia trading up 10.5. So Expedia having a much better day than Booking.com. But look at the year. As you take a zoom out, look what Booking.com has done this year versus look at what Expedia has done this year, right? Expedia's, has been trading sideways. Expedia's been trading sideways for the last 2 years. You can see this beautiful channel from 120 to 90. Here's your channel. It does not take an experienced chartist to see this, right? You guys can see this channel. You've been inside this channel now in Expedia, and guess what? Where are you? You're right dead smack in the middle at 103. Okay? Top end. What am I doing? Top end 120, bottom end 85.90, right? And there's your channel. You can just stick within that channel, trade that channel. All right, wait for top end and then get short, wait for bottom end to get long. And for my channel traders out there, you can trade that thing all day long. Live Nation out. Live Nation also moving higher. So much for people saying that the consumer is starting to slow down on their spending and their enjoyment of services and live events. Well, let's go through it. Look at this. You kidding me? Analyst expectations for revenue were 6.99 billion. The revenue was 8.2 billion. I'll say that again. Analyst expectations 6.99. Revenue came in at 8.2. 140 million tickets were sold year to date for Live Nation shows. 140 million tickets. Just an incredible report there for Live Nation. That stock trading up 7%. Resistance at 88.89. That's your level. That's your mark, 88.89. You clear 88.89. If you start to see Live Nation in the 90s, I think you can stay long Live Nation back to 100. Now, where do I get that $100 level from? Let's talk about it on the charts, right? Very simple. Keep it simple. Keep it simple. There's your previous support. Once you broke underneath that, it then became resistance. And then here you have resistance again back there in July. Okay. So what I'm looking for is to see if you can break above this level, right? And then if you can, this then becomes target, right? So look for Live Nation, see if you can get through that. If there's going to be some follow through to that move. It's not a long for me yet. I need to see like $90 in order to start thinking about a long for Live Nation. Apple's still not out yet, guys. Apple usually hits at around 4:30. All right, Apple usually hits at around 4:30. Let's do a quick check back in on Fortinet. Has that bounced? Yes, it has. Look at that. We said it right here, guys. Remember we said just a couple of minutes ago, I was like, this might be a decent long here. And look, you're already seeing this thing bounce. We got to 44. We're already back. We're already up $5.50, 49.5, now pushing 50. That's what I was saying on the, I wasn't going to do it right here on the live stream, but I was considering buying some in the long-term portfolio down there around 45. It's a big level, right? It's a big level. You guys can see on the weekly chart. You can see the support level I have back here. These are the lows from 2022. You dropped right into it. Now you're starting to get this little bit of a bounce and this little bit of a recovery. Keep eyes there. I think that could be a pretty decent spot to nibble in the long-term portfolio. We'll keep eyes on that. It's going to be on my watch list for the next. I'm going to be on my watches for the next couple of days. DraftKings coming across, guys. DraftKings earnings per share. They lost 61 cents, better than the expectation of losing 70 cents. Big revenue beat, 790 million versus 707 million expectations, 790 million. So $83 million better than the expectations. Fiscal year 23 midpoint revenue guidance, they are raising it from 3.5 to 3.695. All right. And fiscal year 24 revenue midpoint of 4.65 billion versus the expectation of 4.29. Beautiful numbers there for DraftKings. Beautiful numbers there for DraftKings. That stock now trading up 16%. I do like DraftKings. I do like DraftKings for the long haul. With the sports betting and sports gambling and what DraftKings is doing and then the implementation with some AI features. I actually do like DraftKings, and I think that DraftKings is a nice one to have in a long-term portfolio. I expect, pretty good things from that company over many years to come. So I do like DraftKings, and this earnings report, tough to find anything in here that is not something to celebrate. Great earnings report, good beat on earnings per share, still negative earnings per share. Eventually they got to turn that profitability, but lost less than expected, but higher sales than expected. And with the growth that they're looking at, you're talking about 4.65 billion in revenue they're expecting for next year. This year, they're expecting 3.69. You're talking about they're expecting a whole $1 billion in additional revenue for the midpoint of fiscal year 2024. So that is very, very nice. A whole $1 billion more from midpoint of fiscal year 23 to fiscal year 24. That's fantastic growth as sports gambling continues to kind of take light and get rooted in different parts of the country. All right, guys, we got a couple of minutes before Apple's earnings come out. Dropbox just came out with earnings, also not as important of a name. 56 cents versus 49 cents, and 633 million versus 629 million. So right in line with expectations. Stock is trading flat from where we closed, up about 15 cents from where we closed. So not too much action going on there. Still waiting on Apple, guys. So the moment that we have all been waiting for, we're waiting on Apple. Now you are seeing the markets begin to drift to the downside just slightly. That's okay, though. I got to tell you, honestly, as we wait for Apple's earnings to come out, which should be out in a few moments, I don't think that if Apple misses, I don't think that it's going to cause this big sell-off in the overall market. Sure, the market will pull back, but I really don't think you're going to get this like cascading sell-off in the market that a lot of people were talking about today. Over the last two trading sessions, I have seen phenomenal broadening of strength in this market where the markets have been moving higher, not because of tech. Today, the leaders were real estate and energy, right? Financials had a very big day today. Healthcare had a nice day. It's not just technology that is moving this market higher. Now, you look at the first half of this year, when you look at when the markets were up at 450, 460 in July, the entire reason the markets were up in the summer was because of 7 stocks. It was Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Meta, NVIDIA, Tesla, Netflix. These were the companies that were up big. And because they're such big companies, it pulled the whole market up. So if the market, let's say, was up around 14%, it was mostly because of those 7 stocks. If you were to take away those 7 stocks and pretend those 7 stocks were flat, the S&P was actually only up about 1 or 2%. So the whole move higher this year was basically 7 technology stocks. That has now changed. You have not seen, the markets have ripped for the last week, right? I'll just show you guys here. Oh, we got Apple. All right, Apple's out, guys. Apple numbers are out. Let's see what we got. Beat on top and bottom line. Wow, it's a top and bottom line beat on Apple. $1.46 earnings per share versus $1.39. 89.5 billion in sales versus 89.28 billion analyst expectations. Right now, Apple moving to the upside, 182. Stock now trading up about 2%. Give us some type of insight into some guidance numbers because they don't really give you guidance anymore. iPhone sales, 43.8 billion. iPad sales, 6.44 billion. Wearables, 9.32. Services are going to be the big number. You got to see the services number. That's where people, okay, here we go. Services numbers. 22.3 billion versus 21.35. That's good. You want to see services be better than expected because that's really where they see the growth coming from for Apple. Apple Mac, big missed by $1 billion. 7.6 versus 8.6 billion for Mac revenues. iPad revenue, slight beat, 6.44 versus 6.07. It's a decent report. It's a decent report. Q4 services revenue did reach all-time highs. Other product revenues, gross margins are better, 45.2 versus 44.5. So gross margins are better. The only miss that I'm seeing so far, this is their 4th straight quarter of revenue decline, which you haven't seen in like over 10 years. Oh my God, guys, they have $162 billion in cash. Now that's down from 4.4 billion from the quarter prior, but they have $162 billion in cash. Wrap your head around that amount of money in cash. Tim Cook says iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max models are supply constrained. They expect to reach supply-demand balance on iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max models during this current quarter and expects Mac sales to improve in the current quarter because that's really that's really where they miss. It's really the only area where they missed. iPhone revenues were right in line with expectations. Services revenues were a beat, an all-time high for service revenues. Earnings per share was a beat. Total revenue and sales was a beat. Mac is the only place that they missed. Let me see. iPad sales, wearables, services, other products. The only place they missed was MacBook. Regional revenues, Americas were 40 billion, Europe 22, Greater China 15, Japan 5.5, rest of Asia 6.3. Stocks moving to the downside right now. So Joe is telling me that the entire GDP of Guatemala is 95 billion. And Apple just did almost the entire GDP of Guatemala in one quarter. Bulgaria's entire GDP is 89 billion. Apple just did 89 billion in sales in 3 months. Put into perspective how big of a company Apple is. Apple generates more revenue in 3 months than the entire country of Bulgaria in a year. Think about that. Okay? Think about that when you're trying to wrap your head around just how massive of a company Apple really is. So, long story short, it's a good earnings report for Apple. The stock is trading slightly to the downside. We're still green on the day, but we are slightly lower than where we closed. We closed at 177.50. We're at 176, 175.50. So we did give back a little bit of today's gain. The stock is up 1% on the day, but a better than expected earnings report. Let's see if there's other statements to come through here that we can kind of pick through. Listen, this is the market pulled back just a little bit, right? Markets pulled back just a little bit, but I don't really think that I think the market has broadened out enough to where even if Apple missed, and let's say Apple dropped to 170, right? Sure, the SPY pulls back, but maybe to 429. I don't think that you would see this massive market sell-off just because Apple would miss, but they didn't miss. 1.6. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any other comments because we don't get guidance from Apple. Yeah. So fun fact, Q4 is historically Apple's best quarter. Makes sense because of the holidays, right? Everybody, buys people gifts. Everybody wants the new iPhone. So their friends or their family members, their loved ones, they buy it for them for Christmas. Everybody wants the Apple the watch. They want the AirPods, and people buy that stuff for people for the holidays. Yeah, just honestly, they had a huge miss on the MacBook, but Tim Cook saying he expects that to improve. They missed MacBook revenues by $1 billion. I'm getting some info here from Adam. Adam, you want to come on and talk about that? Why that's a big deal?
I sure do, Michael. How are you today?
Hold on. I got to turn my volume up. I can't hear you. All right. Hey, man, what's up?
What's up, buddy? So, yeah, it's the missing on the MacBook sales is a big deal because they put a tremendous amount of time, money, and energy into that new chip.
Right, their own chips, right?
Their own chips, yeah. Right. So that is most likely why this is selling off.
Are their own chips? Is that only for the MacBook?
Correct.
Right? They still use, what do they use for the iPhone? Qualcomm or
no? They're using their own chips for the MacBook.
No,
for the iPhone. No, they're using the iPhone too. The A chips. So yeah, I mean, this is kind of what I was saying is that look, iPhone 15 sales, yeah, you said it exceeded the expectation, the analyst expectation?
iPhone sales came in right in line. So analyst expectations were 43.8 billion and iPhone sales were 43.8 billion.
Say it one more time. Sorry.
Analyst expectations were 43.8 billion and sales for the iPhone came in at exactly 43.8 billion. So exactly what the expectation was.
Got it.
Their total sales was
right. No, I get it. That is not great for the iPhone to come right in line. You want to see the iPhone beat, right? Now you can blame it on supply chain and everything else, and maybe all that's true. I don't know enough about global logistics and supply chains or whatever, right? Apple historically does not really give guidance, right? Right. Somebody said you predicted that Apple would miss and they didn't. Actually, what I said is that I believe that Apple will either miss or be a mixed bag. That is what I said. I said it today in chat at the very end of the day. and I'm pretty sure I've been saying it for a little while now. I think that missing by $1 billion on MacBook is a big deal, especially with how much they have put into that new chip.
That's a huge, dude, $1 billion.
Right.
You know, $1 billion. I mean, and listen, $1 billion is not that much. To miss by $1 billion on iPhone sales is not as much because they do $40+ billion on iPhone sales. But the
Absolutely.
Mac is only 7 or 8 billion. So when you miss by $1 billion, you're missing by more than 10%.
Right. Yeah, I think that I even think you could have missed on iPhone 15 sales and come closer with with the MacBook. I think people really wanted. They just did a whole event the other day, all around the MacBook. Right.
Mm-hmm. And listen, I think the conference call is going to be huge because Tim Cook is going to have the conference calls at 5:00. Tim Cook is going to have to talk about.
I'll be right back.
Adam just dipped on us. The conference call is at 5:00. Tim Cook is going to have to talk about China. All right. Softening in China. That is what I think is going to be a big, there he is. Adam's back. So Adam, what I was just explaining to people is that I think the conference call is going to be huge. And that starts around 5:00 because Tim Cook is going to have to talk about what is their 4th consecutive quarter of revenue decline, which is not something we've seen in over a decade from Apple, right? So revenue actually going down for 4 quarters in a row, which is not something you're used to seeing from Apple. But he's going to have to talk about the softness in China and what's going on in China. And probably we'll address also how things are going in India, because let's not forget, Apple just this year opened their very first direct-to-consumer retail Apple store in India. Tim Cook was there for the grand opening. It's the first Apple store where people can go to an Apple store and buy Apple products directly rather than there have to be some type of middleman to get those products into India. That is where India, I think, is where Apple's growth over the next couple of years is going to come from. The problem with Apple is that they have gotten so big that it's like, for them to continue revenue growth, it's like, how fast are you really going to, how much revenue growth are you really going to have once you get that large? But India, I think, can be the source of that revenue growth because it's going to do exactly just like how China was a huge revenue driver for Apple over the last several years. I think India is going to give them that runway for revenue growth for the next several years. So I think the things that you want to listen to from Tim Cook is iPhone, obviously their biggest product, right? iPhone. He'll probably celebrate services because services revenue hit an all-time high, which is big because that's another revenue driver for Apple, right? Mm-hmm. It's like getting people to pay more for services. So that's important. But then I think also softness in China and what's going on in India. And when he talks about that, because they don't issue official guidance. So analysts are going to be listening very closely to what Tim Cook says. And if he gives some insight into a better Q4, where they start to get positive revenue growth and revenue increases in Q4, then you can watch Apple pop right back positive and go back to like 178, 179. If people start to get the feel that you're not going to get a 5th consecutive quarter of revenue decline. If it looks like we're getting a 5th quarter of revenue decline, you probably see Apple go red. So that's what I would be looking. That's what I would be looking for on the conference call.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Originally I thought it was going to miss. And then today, at the end of the day in chat, before the market closed, I was like, I think it could be a mixed bag.
Yeah.
So either way, I don't think it matters much for the overall markets.
I agree. And that's what I was, I don't know if you were here before, but when I first came on the live stream, I was telling people that I really don't think that even if Apple was to miss, sure, the market will pull back, but I don't think it's going to create like this cascading sell-off. Like the market has really broadened out over the last 2 days. You've seen a lot of strength in a lot of different areas. The market has not moved higher just because Apple, Amazon, and Alphabet went higher. and Microsoft, right? That's not why the market's moved higher the last 2 days. Today, the strongest sectors of the market were actually real estate and energy. Over the last 2 days, one of the strongest sectors has actually been financials. It has not been tech. Tech has not led the market higher these last 2 days. It's been other areas and other segments of the market, which is a very good thing. That's a very healthy thing to see in the market. You don't want the market to be up 14% like it was in July just because of 7 stocks. And if you take away those 7 stocks, the market's up 2%. That's not healthy. What you're seeing these last couple days is healthy.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's see.
Yeah, Apple has stabilized. I expect the stock to just kind of stabilize now until the conference call. And the conference, I'm telling you, listen, if Tim Cook insinuates that Q4 could be positive revenue growth, you probably see Apple do this. Probably see it go right back up to like 180, 181. But if people start to think that the way he's talking sounds like a 5th quarter of revenue decline, then it's 171. I'd say 172. 172. I'd say probably 172. All right. So
that would be great.
That'll be the difference maker, folks. So did we reach peak fear last week? I don't think there was all that much fear last week. People were getting a little nervous that the markets were going down, but we got oversold. It was time for a bounce. It was time. So listen, I'll go back to the SPY real quick for you guys and just show you, right? These 2 days were the easy long. And why were these 2 days the easy long? Because this was a technical bounce, right? The market had gotten its head chopped off for 2 weeks, right? We dropped into a key support level from earlier this year. We were extended to the downside. We were oversold. These 2 green days were the easy move higher because it was just a technical relief bounce. But the last 2 days were the harder longs because of the fundamental catalyst that caused the move. The fundamental catalyst that caused this move was the Treasury refunding that came in $4 billion less than what the expectation was, which is a good thing. That alleviates pressure on the bond market, which means bond prices can go back up, yields can come back down. As yields come down, stocks can move higher. Then you had the Fed meeting, and Jerome Powell said everything that he was supposed to say. He didn't scare anybody. If anything, the markets feel now that the Fed is done raising rates. The markets believe that there's no more rate hike coming, and that caused even a further drop in yields as the market believes that we've reached peak yields for the Fed. Therefore, the markets believe we reached peak yields on bonds. And then that means bond yields go down, bond prices go up. And because if you're not going to get a higher yield, right? Yes, I have to think about it. Because when bond prices go down, bond yields go up. The interest that they pay you goes up when the price of the bond goes down. So if the market believes we've seen peak rates, so let's say 5.5%. If the market believes you're not going to get 6%, you're not going to get 6.5%, well, then you're going to see a mad dash of capital go into bonds to lock in 5.5% interest. Because now that mad dash of capital pushes the price of bonds higher because people are buying them now. So now they start to move higher. And as they move higher, the yield comes down. So you saw this mad dash of capital yesterday and today into the bond market to lock in the 5.5% interest rate. And since then, yields have come down, and that means stocks have now gone up. So this was a very impressive move in the market. I was not expecting today's move. Today was way stronger than I was anticipated. I thought we gapped up today, and I was like, all right, maybe let's try to pull in and hold the 200-day moving average. And then I was telling members of your trading group today, I want to be a buyer back there against the 200-day moving average, but there was no pullback at all. I mean, at all. I mean, look at this. This is the market today. No pullback at all. It was just gap up and go. There was no pullback at all. This was the buy zone for me today. If we got a pullback early off the open, right there was going to be buy zone, but you can see no pullback at all. just a straight shot, just a moonshot to the upside. Just a moonshot.
Mike, you know our member PacJ?
Yeah, of course. Oh, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, buddy.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
Good, man. How
Awesome.
you doing?
That's awesome.
I'm getting a haircut after work. I'm not gonna look like this tomorrow. But
That's good. You know what? Listen, it's not. I've seen you way worse.
yeah,
I've seen your hair way worse.
I'm doing the mastermind meetup tomorrow, and it's like I feel like I should have not showered for 4 days, and not.
Oh wait, there's his son right there. Dave's right there.
I know, Dr. K.
Yeah.
I feel like I should just do what I normally do, right? They're like, oh, what's the secret of success? Well, just induce yourself with nothing but stress. Don't shower for like a week and just show up.
Pretty much. Well, hey man, people are taking notice. People are taking notice though of what we've been building and what we've been creating, like with the honor that we have of being nominated for one of Benzinga's FinTech awards next week. So I'm really excited about that. For those of you that didn't know, Benzinga is hosting their FinTech Deal Day and Awards event next week. And True Trading Group was not only nominated, but is one of the finalists for Best Data Analysis Tool for the innovation that we have as a company and as a platform to bring all of these different tools and resources under one roof for people so that retail traders and investors finally have access to real actionable information that can help them make better decisions instead of having to pay $10,000 to 10 different companies to get this tool and this piece of information and this data. And no, True Trading Group, our goal is to level the playing field for retail traders and investors and give you everything that you need to have the very best chance of becoming successful. So we bring all of these features into our platform at one affordable price for you guys for the entire year. And that has improved financial literacy. It's the technology of our mobile apps and our platform. It's the innovation for, changing the industry of retail trading and investing. And we've been recognized for that by Benzinga. And it's our honor to be, mentioned with some amazing companies like Trade Ideas is in the running for the same category that we are in. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Kevin O'Leary, Mr. Wonderful, is going to be doing a keynote speaker. The event is being promoted by Kathy Wood. I mean, Chamath is going to be there. I mean, this is just going to be an awesome event. And I'm just glad to see the impact that True Trading Group is having on so many retail traders and investors, because the reality is that the majority of our members are making money and they're becoming better traders because of the platform and technology that we have created. You don't take my word for it. Members of True Trading Group, do me a favor. Just type the number 1 in chat right now if you guys are making money and you're becoming better traders because of True Trading Group, because of our platform, because of what we have created here. I want you to type the number 1 if you're making money and you're becoming better traders because of TTG. Just go ahead and type the number 1. Look at this. Look at all these number 1s. Adam, we set out many years ago, about 6 years ago. We set out with a goal of forcing change in this industry, and it certainly seems like we're doing a pretty damn good job of it. Your mic is muted.
I was talking to PacJ.
Oh, I thought you were.
No, you're on a roll, baby. Keep going.
Well, we have anything special for people today? I'm curious, who's on here that's not a member of True Trading Group, guys? Do me a favor and type the letters TTG if you're not a member of True Trading Group. So you guys obviously don't know about our platform, the Benzinga FinTech nominated platform that we are, True Trading Group. Type the letters TTG if you guys are unfamiliar. If you're not a member, just type TTG if you are not a member. Just don't be shy. Go ahead and type TTG. I want to see who's on here that is. If you're not a member, you obviously are not familiar with the platform. Let's see. We got Andre, LSG, Graf, Ernesto. Yes, go ahead and type TTG, folks. Man of the People is not a member, but a longtime watcher. Barrage, Matt's, Real Cat, Reese Parker. He does, doesn't he, Ray? Like, I wonder what he's doing back there. Right? You see, Ray said you have a mischievous look on your face. You do. I feel like you and Pac J are like scheming something back there.
Why do you leave my man's out of it, bro? He's not doing anything.
I feel like you guys are scheming back there. I don't know. I feel like you guys are scheming. We got Trevor. We got a bunch of new faces that are on here with us, guys. Mr. Z. What do you want to do today, Adam? You have anything special you want to do for these people?
No.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Let's do this. Tell them what they get for being a True Trading Group member, I suppose. And then if they're interested in becoming a True Trading Group member, I just told Joe to up the price to $11.98.
Okay.
So that's what we were going to charge people tonight. That is what we are going to charge people tonight. But before Joe does that, if somebody wants it for cheaper, they can send the text message to the 888 number.
All right, cool. All right, so guys, here, listen. Those of you that are not members, right? I'll put a phone number on the screen that you can text us if you're interested, and then I'll tell you what is included in our platform, because there's a reason why we are.
Hold on. Now change it.
There's a reason why
$11.98.
Our platform is nominated as one of the finalists for best data analysis tool at the Benzinga FinTech Deal Day and Awards event. So I'm going to explain to you guys what is included with our platform. But if you have any questions or if you're interested in TTG, send a text message right now to 1-888-306-8783, and we'll talk about your potential membership. All right. We can answer any questions that you have. If you want to know about the moderators, our histories, our trading, all of our trading is right there on our website. We upload all of our executions from our brokerage accounts every day, all the wins, the losses, everything is right there. Day trades, swing trades, stocks, options, futures, it's all there for you guys. But if you're interested, you have any questions, feel free to text us, because the price is going to be $11.98 for the entire year. Joe is going to change the price, but if you want it before we move the price higher, we'll give it to you for a cheaper price. If you guys want, just text that number though, and we'll get you guys, we'll start talking about the potential membership. Let me tell you what you actually get with it, because when you guys join True Trading Group, it is an all-inclusive membership, right? Like, our goal is to bring all of the things that we think that you need to help you become successful under one roof, on one website, on one platform, on your dashboard, so you can use all these things and get all this information without having to pay thousands of dollars for it. Because if you were to pay for these tools on your own, you're probably talking about $5,000 to $6,000 a year. So don't pay that, right? This is why our platform exists. So when you guys join, you're getting access to our 23 course curriculum, which is a simplified and expanded upon version of what I learned working at the fund in New York. There's beginner courses, advanced courses, options, swing trading, trader psychology, crypto, futures, you name it. We've got it. You get access to all of it. There's no VIP courses that cost more money. We don't upsell you for courses. Everything's included. We're not selling you half the solution. You get everything for the entire year. You also will get, where am I at right now? You also will be getting access to Benzinga Pro's real-time newsfeed, live up to the second news alerts directly inside of chat. You're also going to get congressional trading data, so you can track trades being made by members of Congress. Insider trading, so you can see when management buys or sells shares of their own stock. Now, if you were to go to Benzinga on your own, those things would cost you around $1,400 a year. You get it included when you join our platform. You don't have to pay anything extra for it. You get a simulator that lets you trade with fake money, but real-time data, so you can practice implementing what you are learning in the courses before you risk your hard-earned money. You get TradingView's premium charting software, which is like $600 a year. If you went to TradingView directly, it's included when you join us. You get unusual options activity, options flow, dark pool data. If you don't know what dark pool data is, that's a private exchange where hedge funds conduct massive transactions that are not done in the open market, but you can see when these massive block trades go off in a dark pool. That's very helpful and useful information. Okay, you get access to that. You get short data. Some of you may pay for this stuff already. It's very expensive, as you would know. It's included when you join our platform. We have a trading journal that tracks your trading for you. We have various AI tools that can help you with your trading and AI trading assistance. You got the trade idea scanner that streams on our platform during the day so you can focus on the hottest stocks. There's analyst ratings included, a social sentiment scanner so you can stay ahead and know about what stocks everyone's talking about most on social media so you can stay ahead of the crowd. All of this is included when you join True Trading Group. You don't have to pay extra for it. It's included. Now, the price is going to be $11.98. If you want it, we'll give it to you for cheaper than that. But you got to send a text message if you're interested to 1-888-306-8783. Just text us just text that number with your name, your email, right? Just text us and with your name and email to that phone number. It's at the bottom of your screen. We'll answer any questions that you guys have. Nice. Techno says, I have followed TTG for 3 years. Watched every live stream. I've learned so much. Thank you, guys. I'm ready to join soon. Techno, honestly, do yourself a favor. Unless that's great. I'm happy that you're ready to join soon. But the price is going to be $11.98. I mean, if you don't mind, I mean, that's fine. You just pay the $11.98 whenever you're ready. But if you do want to join, anyone that sends a text message to that number today will get a cheaper price. Okay? Will get a cheaper price. So if you want, send a text message, see what the discount is that we're offering here for today. I think it's a nice little thing for us to do in honor of being a finalist for Best Data and Analysis Tool at the Benzinga FinTech Awards. Very excited about it. Very honored to be nominated. Going up against some amazing companies, and just happy to see that all the work, the energy, the effort, and what we've spent the last several years creating is being recognized by industry leaders, and most importantly is helping the retail trader and retail investing community. All right. Way to go, Art. Nice, Art. $24,000 in profit today. Great job. Wow, Sam. Sam goes, I got involved a year ago with no knowledge at all. This week so far, I'm up 80 points on futures. If you want to learn, this is the place. Most importantly, they care. That's true. We really do care. You know, we really do care. Listen, if we didn't care, we would charge an arm and a leg for all of these tools. But here's the way that we look at it at True Trading Group. There's a lot of other groups and services that are out there, right? That charge an arm and a leg for their services and an arm and a leg for their tools. And there's a reason why they do that. They do that because they don't think that you're going to actually become successful. So they anticipate that you're going to leave them after your membership is up, right? If you join for a year, they don't anticipate you to stay. So they're going to try to get as much money out of you as they possibly can, as quickly as they can, because they don't actually think you're going to be successful. True Trading Group feels and believes the exact opposite of that. I don't want to charge you an arm and a leg, because when you charge an arm and a leg, it stops, it prevents, and it hinders people from getting the tools, the resources, the training, and the education that they need to be successful. If you guys want to become successful at this, you need to actually be shown how to do it properly. You need the right education, you need the right training, you need the right guidance, but you also need the right tools, and you also need the right information so you can make the best decisions possible. That is how you will have the best chance of becoming successful. So rather than charge an arm and a leg, and then people don't get the training, they don't get the tools, they then fail. They then leave. They don't stay. True Trading Group feels, let's give them everything they need to have the very best chance possible of becoming successful. Because if we do that and give them and do it at a cheap and affordable price, if we do that, the chances of them becoming successful is significantly higher, and therefore they'll stay. I'd rather you be with True Trading Group for the next 10 years, not the next 3 months. And we are succeeding at that. We have a 78% retention rate. 78% of our members are either lifetime members or have been a member for longer than 1 year. Guys, type the number 1 if you've been a member for longer than a year or if you're a lifetime member. Just type the number 1 if that's you. Type the number 1 if you've been a member for longer than a year or you're a lifetime member. Anyone that's not a member, pay attention. Pay attention to the amount of people that you're going to see that have been here for longer than a year. Now, for those of you that are not members, I mean, really ask yourself, why would these people still be here? Our membership is a year membership. So once their year is up, why would they renew or why would they opt to become a lifetime member of the platform if they weren't having success and they didn't feel that it was worth the time, money, and energy that they put towards it? Would you stay if you weren't getting any value, you weren't having any success? Of course not. Why would you renew your membership? You would leave, right? 78% retention rate. We're 5-star rated on Trustpilot with over 2,400 reviews. We have been nominated and one of the finalists for Best Data Analysis Tool by Benzinga. If you guys have questions, if you are interested in our platform, send a text message to the phone number that we put at the bottom of the screen. I also offer you a double your money back guarantee. See, I stand behind the platform that we've created. So this is the way that it works. You guys will join True Trading Group. If you go through our courses, pass our quizzes, attend the study group, and actually use our platform. Don't log onto our website 6 times all year and be like, oh, I didn't make any money, right? Of course you didn't. You logged onto our site 6 times all year. But if you do those things and you are unable to make enough winning trades that will equal what you paid for your membership, then we'll give you back double your money. I'm dead serious. We'll give you back double your money if you can't make enough winning trades to equal what you paid for your membership. That's how much I stand behind the platform that we have created. That's how much that I believe with all these tools, with all this guidance, with all these resources, that you will have the very best chance of becoming successful. And we base that success on your P&L, not anybody else's. Our refund rate is less than 2.5% going back to 2017. That's why I can offer double your money back. If our refund rate was 10 or 15%, I wouldn't be able to offer you double your money back. We would go out of business. And True Trading Group is a business. We have 30 employees. Go to send a text message to 1-888-306-8783. All right. Name, email, text us if you guys want the price cheaper than the $11.98 that we are moving it to. All right. All right, folks. Getting ready for the Apple conference call to get going and to get underway. Stock is pretty muted. We're just kind of sitting here at 176. So basically all that's happened, Apple came out with earnings. We dropped the $1.50. The stock was up 2%. Now it's up 1% and change. So not really a pretty uneventful earnings release here from Apple. Top and bottom line beat, nothing spectacular. iPhone sales in line, services above expectations, big miss on Mac. Fourth consecutive quarter of negative revenue growth or revenue decline, fourth quarter of revenue decline. We'll see if Tim Cook can give us any insight into what Q4 is going to look like. Q4 is usually Apple's best quarter. Makes sense because of the holidays, right? Everybody buys Apple products for their loved ones or for their friends or whatever it is during the holidays. You get a lot of those products get purchased between now and the end of the year. So we'll see. Does that mean we're going to get positive? We're going to get revenue growth next quarter. If he insinuates we're going to get revenue growth, you probably see Apple go back to 178, 180 in that range. But if he insinuates that maybe you're looking at another fifth quarter of revenue decline, I expect to see Apple go red. Anybody have any questions for me, either about True Trading Group or about any of the earnings that we saw come across the wire while we've been on this live stream? Does anybody have any questions? Isn't that already baked into expectations, though? Yes, the fourth consecutive quarter of revenue decline is baked into the expectations, yes. But Apple doesn't issue official guidance for the next quarter, so you just kind of have to listen to what Tim Cook says. 300% gain on my whole futures account today. What? Build it up? What? Yes, and sent proof. And they sent proof. Adam, do you have it? Show me. I love when you guys send the proof. I love the successes. And listen, we verify this. Listen, when members come on our live streams and they make very bold claims, like, okay, I gained 300% on my account. That's a bold claim. So we want to make sure we verify that. I don't want to mislead anybody. I don't want to make you guys feel like, oh, hey, listen, in 5 minutes, people made $10,000. No, I want to make sure that it's verified, and show you what's really truly possible. So we do verify when we have big claims that are made by members, just for full transparency, guys. We are fully transparent. We are fully transparent and open. We're an open book. Yeah, Sava. Yeah, Sava, is interesting, man. This stock's been quietly pushing higher. There's a big short position on this thing. It's been quietly pushing higher, coming up to a big level of resistance. You got big resistance in the high 20s, like, 27, 28 is a pretty big level of resistance. You're at $24 now, but who knows? If that thing starts to squeeze, it could go. You got a big short position on this name. Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on this. Way to go, Jimmy. Had a big day on Sava. Great job. How much does the first few days of the month and pension money being put into the market, regardless of price, affect the daily move? It doesn't really, but I'll tell you what does have an impact. Mutual fund rebalancing. So mutual funds, the fiscal year for a mutual fund actually ends on October 31st. So what ends up happening is the last couple of days of October, what you sometimes will see is stocks that are down already on the year go down further the last couple of days of October, because the mutual funds will sell off positions that they're down on so they can lock in the loss in that position to offset gains elsewhere. So let's say, for example, a mutual fund owns Microsoft, and but it also owns, I don't know, what's a stock that's gotten, but it also owns Home Depot. I'm just making up, making up ticker symbols, right? If one position is up 28% and another position is down 12%, the mutual fund before October 31st is going to sell off that position that's down 12%. So that if they lost, I'm just making up numbers, if they lost $1 million on this position, but they made $2.5 million on this position, now they don't have taxable return they don't have taxable gain of $2.5 million. They have a taxable gain of 1.5. Now that's just very simple math explanation, just to understand the concept, but that's done throughout an entire mutual fund with many different positions. So sometimes you will see the last couple of days of October, stocks that have been beaten down, or like the second half of October, stocks that are down a lot will tend to go down further. And then starting November 1st, you get sometimes this relief bounce as all that selling pressure stops. And then you get this little bit of a relief bounce in some of those names. Wow, M, great job. Yes, M, a 15% gain today. She is up 683% since joining. Yes. Yes. Hell yeah. Yeah, my pleasure, Dave. My pleasure. Let's see, Apple not moving, guys. Just sitting here at 176. The conference call has started. I'm pretty sure. I'm not obviously sitting here listening to it because I'm on here with you guys. Any other questions? Any other questions? Way to go, Anthony. 130% gain on DoorDash. Hey, yo. Still like OSTK? Yeah, I mean, it held 15. It held 15. So I think you got to keep an eye on this thing for the long. You had a false breakdown here. So here's your support level, right? Here's your support level. One of our moderators is long OSTK. He actually got long on this day, which is just nuts. He got such an incredible entry. But it's a failed breakdown. So you broke this support level, but immediately reclaimed it. You see how you immediately took it back, which is a failed breakdown, and then it became support again. So what used to be support is now still support, and as long as you stay above this level, I think you got to be leaning towards the long side on OSTK. OSTK, has a decent short position. About 10 or 11% of the float is short. Nothing crazy, but I think you can see this get to at least 1650. And if you really get some momentum, 18. I'd say 1650 bulk position off the table. Hold on to a piece in case you get to 18. You get to 18, get off the train. And that's Glenny, one of our moderators. Glenny is on that one. He's already locked in serious gains on it though. His initial entry was actually underneath $14. He took profits at $15.75, and then he bought back when we tailed under when we got to $15. He bought back, and now the stock back up to 16. So look to see maybe if you can get a little bit more upside on that, and just as long as that 15 area, it goes up like I'd say it's like 14.75 to 15, that 25-cent range. That's your support level. You break 14.75, then I would say okay, get out of that trade, cut the loss and keep it moving. Keep that loss nice and small if you crack 14.75. Otherwise, try to stay long. Take profit at 16.50. Hold on to a piece in case you get to 18. That's the way I would play it. Do I like Carvana for a squeeze after earnings? Absolutely not. I know everybody is so obsessed with Carvana for a short squeeze. I do not like it for a short squeeze at all, to be honest. I'm actually thinking about shorting the stock. I just don't see the short squeeze. I think there's a nice level here at like 36 that I think you can try a short at 36. I don't like it for the short squeeze. You've got major moving averages right here coming into play, $38, $40. That's 100-day and 50-day moving average. You've got this previous support level that was here around 35, 36. So here you can see support. You broke it. Right? You broke that in October. It became resistance. You sold off aggressively. Now you get this little bit of a bounce because of earnings. I still think this area is going to become resistance. And I think if you get a push into that zone, I think the stock then fades off of that zone. I do not think that you are going to get this massive short squeeze. I just don't. I don't see it. It's not that world. People saw Carvana squeeze during COVID, and they just think that just because there's a short position on it, that it has to squeeze. The days of short squeezes, just because there's a high float percentage short and people talk about it on Reddit, those days are over. You're not going to get short squeezes because there's a high short percentage of the float and people on Reddit are talking about it. I don't like the short squeeze. I think try the short at 35, 36. If you get blown through $40, you can try the short again. And if you get above 40, then I guess I'm wrong. But I'm not looking for a long on Carvana. What do you think about Tesla right now? I'm very, very indifferent on Tesla. My conviction level on direction for Tesla is probably about as low as it can possibly be. I don't see a clear setup. I don't see clear direction. I don't see clear momentum. Tesla for me is a no trade right now. It's not on my watch list. I don't have conviction on it long. I don't have conviction on it short. We got into a huge support level. We're still underneath the 200-day moving average. I don't know. I really honestly, for me, coin flip. I don't really see conviction on it. And I think, and one of the things that you guys should really think of Apple. Okay, now Apple's moving to the downside. I'm not sure what Tim Cook just said, but now Apple is starting to move to the downside. You just broke underneath 175. I'm not sure what was just said, but you got a little bit of movement there to the downside as the conference call is underway. But yeah, when it comes back to Tesla, you have to be able to look at a chart and say, I don't know, right? The whole premise behind being a good trader is identifying high probability setups. And sometimes you have to be able to look at a chart and say, I don't see probability. I don't see high probability in direction anywhere. I don't have conviction long. I don't have conviction short. And that's okay. Don't trade it, right? Wait for stuff that you have high conviction on and just don't trade it. Mike, do you still expect a pullback for long-term portfolio in 2024? Hamed, I do. I do still expect a pullback in 2024 for the long-term portfolio. But if you guys did not, listen, I did a live stream about a week and a half ago when we were underneath 420. It was like right here. It was right here. And Adam was actually on here with me, and Adam and I were talking about the long-term portfolio because I bought last year in my long-term portfolio here and here. Okay, so I got some money in here and I got a big chunk in here, right? You can see where the markets are now. I'm very, very pleased with those buys in the long-term portfolio. I damn near got the bottom of this thing. So I'm very happy with that. But I still do have some cash that I did not put in because I thought my final entry, I thought that last year we were going to get to here. We didn't quite get there, right? So that last chunk never got into the market. That was where I was going to be. My final buy was going to be right there. We didn't quite get there. So there's a portion of cash that did not get into equities that I've done a variety of things with. I've done treasuries to just capitalize on a 5% annualized rate. I've been going with short-term T-bills, just getting that annualized return and rolling it over. So the money's not just doing nothing, that cash portion of it. And I said to people, about a week and a half or 2 weeks ago, that if you are someone that did not get anything into the market last year, if you did not buy anything, if you missed the entire sell-off or worse, you panicked and sold at the bottom because people told you that there was going to be a Great Depression and the world was going to end. If that is you, then I told people about a week and a half ago that, listen, I'm not going to give you financial advice. I'm not a licensed financial retirement professional or anything like that, but I'll just say what I'll do with my own money. If I was sitting here last week and I had not got any money into the market last year, I would have been buying stuff last week. I would have been buying stuff last week. And wow, Apple's really falling now, 173. I'm not sure what Tim Cook is saying. Let me see, actually. Can I pull up? Oh, yeah. Oof, I got a bunch of stuff here. Let's see. Woo! Apple, goodbye. Boom! 171. See you later, Apple. Look at that. I'm not sure what's going on the conference call, guys, but let's see. Apple said had strong performance in several markets, including an all-time record in India, September quarter records in Canada, Latin America, the Middle East, and South Asia. I'm not sure what is being said on the conference call that just caused this move, guys. But you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying when I tell you guys that I think that the conference call is going to be what really is going to move the stock. And then there you go. There's your drop, a nice $6 drop 176.50 down to 170.50. Now 170's printing on Apple. Now I want to show you something, right? I want to show you something. Look at the SPY. Do you see what I was telling to you guys earlier, that even if Apple sells off, I do not think you get this big sell-off in the market because there's enough strength in the market. There's enough of a broadening out in the markets, right? We talked about this an hour ago. And there you have it. Look at this. Look at the SPY. That's nothing. Nothing. Right? Nothing. So goes to show you Apple not as important right now as the market has broadened out. All right, guys, that wraps it up. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed the live. If you guys have any questions, like I said, send us a text message, 1-888-306-8783. Again, that is 1-888-306-8783. I'm going to go check out what's going on this Apple conference call. If you guys want to join True Trading Group or you're interested, send a text message to the number at the bottom of your screen, name, email, send a text. We'll get you guys hooked up before the price goes up to $11.89. You want a cheaper price? Text us. We'll get you guys hooked up. All right. Thanks for joining me tonight, folks. If you have not done so, subscribe to the channel, smash the like button, turn on notifications. I'll see you guys all in chat tomorrow.